feel like a slice of butter.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are Mateo indoors. We'll be learning how to make butter today from heavy cream. Stay tuned, find out how. In an effort to be more self-sustainable, it's just something another skill I want to learn. I wanted to learn how to make butter. I've been watching YouTube videos all week. It seems pretty simple, but it's just something I don't know how to do that I want to learn how. You know, with grocery prices the way they are, you never know. So this is one step closer to learning how to make stuff on your own. So essentially what you need to make your own butter, from what I've gathered, this is literally the first time I'm making this, so I could totally mess this up. But you need a good stand mixer. I have fortunately been storing this one for the past 13-ish years, so this will be the first time I ever use it. A cheesecloth or some type of the videos I've seen have like a little net, like a mesh bag thing that they put the butter in, because essentially what you're doing is straining. You're going to have butter and then buttermilk. You want to strain the buttermilk out of it. So you need some type of cheesecloth or something to hold the butter in so that the buttermilk can drain out. A strainer. I'm using a strainer just in case this cheesecloth pushes some butter through. It might catch that. And then a bowl to catch your buttermilk essentially. And then I'm using, I don't know how much this will yield, but I'm using essentially just 1 quart of heavy cream. So you get this from, we have a dairy down the road from us. So if you are fortunate enough to get have a local dairy, nothing fresher from the tap essentially, right? Or you can go to your local grocery store and just make sure you get heavy cream. That's all, basically what you're looking for. The whole point of this is to do this while it's very cold. You don't want the cream or the butter or anything to get warm, I think, from what I've gathered. So you want to do this fairly quickly. It doesn't take long. I think it takes like 10 minutes essentially, but today we're going to make butter. So to make the butter, we're essentially going to put it in this bowl and mix it and blend it until it becomes butter, and we have buttermilk and stuff. I'm probably going to, once we pour it in while it's mixing, I'm going to rinse this out and pour the buttermilk back into it, and then maybe make some pancakes with it this weekend, which starts tomorrow. So we'll do that. But let's get started. I did promise though, however, that the assistant would be able to help with this video, so we need the assistant. Assistant! Assistant! Where's my assistant? There she is. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. The fabulous assistant. Over here. You got your headband on, you ready? You know what we're doing today?
Making butter.
We're making butter. All right. I don't even know if they can see you past these bowls here. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. All right. Ready to get started?
Yeah.
The cream is cold. The blender's plugged in. Let's do this. All right. We got our blender ready to go. If you don't have a big, KitchenAid mixer like this, you can just use a hand mixer as well, like a hand mixer with beaters and stuff like that. All right, assistant, the milk, please. Or the cream, I guess.
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna pour this in.
All of it?
All of it. There we go. All right, assistant.
Yeah.
I need you to rinse this out at the sink for me. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Rinse it out, put the lid on, shake it around. Shake it, shake it, shake it, and mix it until the water comes out clear, okay?
Okay, and then what do I do?
Then bring it back.
Okay.
All right, to get started, we're going to put this down into there. We're going to lock it. And then we're just going to turn this on low to start, because hopefully this doesn't splatter all over the place. All right, we're stirring. We could probably go a little higher. All right, we're just gonna let this do its thing. Basically, this is gonna stir now for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and eventually you'll start seeing, instead of the cream, you'll start seeing the yellow butter come out, and you'll start seeing water. So essentially it's gonna get to the point where it starts looking solid. When you get to that point where it looks like butter, you gotta keep going until it starts to separate the buttermilk out of the butter. So we're just gonna let this go. While this is mixing up, do you want to open that cheesecloth for us? Get that out of the package?
Sure.
To show us the cleaned bottle that you just cleaned? Show us that first. Nice and clean. We're going to put our buttermilk in that. And then what's that?
This is for like have any chunks. And then the stuff is this left.
Okay. So that's going to hold the butter, and the buttermilk's going to get squeezed out, right?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Looks like we got a couple stragglers there. Perfect. All right, then we're just going to take our cheesecloth and fold it over on itself, and that should be a good enough spot to hold that.
Will we need regular butter inside of this?
We're making regular butter right now.
Are we gonna have to put butter in it?
Nope. This turns into butter like magic.
Just that?
Yep, just that.
That's gonna be a short video.
Not really. It's going to take about 10 minutes.
What?
All right, let's stop.
I wanna do a long video.
All right, let's check in on this, see where we're at. It's still pretty liquidy. I wonder if we can turn the speed up a little. Okay, checking in after about 4 or 5 minutes of beating. It's starting to get kind of foamy, so this is maybe another 2 minutes away from being whipped cream. So we'll keep going. All right, so this is another maybe minute or so of, so we're just gonna take, I've just got like a spatula, or I don't know what this is called, the little rubber thingy. We're just gonna wipe around the edges, just kind of push anything down that may have splattered. We wanna make sure we get everything. But yeah, right now we're at this consistency right now, which is essentially like whipped cream, right? Which I just find so cool. Put this on some strawberries, man. Good stuff. All right, let's keep whipping it. Oh. All right, so you can see it's already starting to get thick, like it was that fast. You can hear the motor start bogging down. So we've gone from whipped cream to a very, very thick cream. So things are starting to separate now. So it's getting super thick. We're just gonna keep blending, blending, blending until we get that butter start to pull out. Separate the liquid from the solids essentially, and we're making that butter. And take a break for a sec. So now we're like super, super thick whipped cream, just pushing this stuff down around the sides of the bowl, just so that we get it all in there. All right, let's keep doing it. All right, you start seeing the curds now coming out. It's getting definitely a lot thicker and chunkier. Stop again and keep pushing these sides down. I don't feel like the mixer's getting all the way to those edges. You can hear the motor slowing more. Less liquidy, we're definitely chunky at this point. So you can see here, this right here, right now is the butter. And it's starting to separate into liquid. Just gonna slow the speed down a little bit. Ooh, we're splashing a lot now. Okay. I'm gonna put the splash guard on just so that this buttermilk doesn't go splashing all over the place. And that is it. Okay. So, all of this is butter, and down there is the buttermilk. So what we need to do now is get this butter out of here, get it into our cheesecloth, and start straining it. All right, so we've got the butter here. This is the buttermilk in there. So we need to get this out of here and get the butter into the strainer for now to try to separate this buttermilk. So I'm gonna take this off, transfer it over here to our strainer, and get this butter out of this beater. I put gloves on just because it's food, and you know, I don't want to be putting even though my hands are clean and I washed them, you know, gloves, sanitary reasons, all that. Okay. So that is that. Assistant, can you put this in the sink for me, please? Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we've got that in place. Now I want to get this. There's still little bits of butter and stuff in here, so I want to get this off. and strain this buttermilk through and get these little chunks of butter out of here as well. Huh? Oh, it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna pour it off to the side. Get that sweet buttermilk out. All right, assistant, this can go to the sink as well, please.
But that's a big.
Yes, it is. Okay, they can see you. All right, so now we've got, excuse me, we've got the butter in the pan, in the strainer. We're straining out the buttermilk underneath. So essentially we want to, I could use this and push it, but it's just going to push the butter through. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to gather this up, kind of form it into a ball a little bit, press out what we can of buttermilk, and do that from there. So essentially you can see as I'm squeezing it, that buttermilk coming out of there. So you just want to keep squeezing it, kind of working it till you can get all that buttermilk out. Okay, now that we've got kind of a ball formed, I'm going to put it in our cheesecloth. Maybe that'll help a little bit better. I don't know that that's helping much. All right, let's cancel the cheesecloth for now. Although I think that did squeeze quite a bit of moisture out. Let's put it there for now. Just keep squeezing it. And assistant, can you go turn on the sink, please, with very cold water? So push the handle all the way forward. Thank you. All right, so now I've just got some cold water here. I'm gonna kind of bring the temperature of the butter down a little bit. Working it with your hands makes it kind of cold or warm. Rinse off a little bit more of that buttermilk. And we're gonna put it back in the cheesecloth, see if we can extract any more liquid out of it. All right, and that is butter. Assistant?
Yes.
Need a glass Tupperware from underneath there, please.
Yes.
Yep. All right, so here's our butter. Assistant has brought me a glass container. Put it here, please. So we've got our butter. We're gonna put it in our container. And we're just gonna make this into like a mold, essentially. Boom. There is one container full of homemade butter. Okay, last thing to do is just take our jug. We've rinsed this out that we got this in, and we're going to pour back in all of the buttermilk into it without hopefully spilling it all over the counter. Every drop. Look at that. Like a boss. All right. So we got probably half a quart of buttermilk out of that. So we're going to make some pancakes with that this weekend. Make some homemade buttermilk pancakes and melt some butter on top.
You can never have too much butter.
So that is how you make butter. At this point, we've got our butter. We've got our buttermilk separated into its jug again. Our butter's in a container in the fridge, chilling, cooling down a little bit. Don't want to get it too hot. You don't ever want to get it too warm. So if you have to, ice water or something, cool that off a little bit as you're working that last little bit of buttermilk out. Now I should stress, this is unsalted butter, right? If you do prefer salt in your butter, at the time where you're mixing it, you know, there at the end before, once you've separated it from the buttermilk, you'll want to salt it at that point and work that salt through the butter, or add any other flavors you want to. But at the meantime, or for us today, unsalted butter. At this point, there's only one thing left to do. How cool is this? I made my own butter. That's pretty cool. I know, like, for some of you who probably make your own butter all the time, you're like, well, what's the big deal? I just find that so cool, man. You know, I'm churning butter.
I churned butter once or twice, living in an Amish paradise.
So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do like it, or you like the kind of type of content that I make, I would appreciate subscribe, thumbs up down below, leave me a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna sit here and keep eating my toast, buttered toast that I made. Next I might learn how to make the bread. Seriously, this is just cool to me. See you on the next one.